On a side note, I am planning to replace that Thor figure from Marvel Legends 1.
Huh. Well, that came sooner than expected. Oh well, on with the intro. Hello everyone, Kaiser here, and today I'm back with a new video, which is a custom Thor figure. And I really like how this one came out, so let's get into it. Okay, so before we actually get into the actual figure, there are a few things I want to say first. First of all, I meant to get this video out sooner, but a few weeks ago my phone broke, so I had to get that replaced. Thanks, Dad. Another thing is about the actual costume, which I went with, since it's not actually based off any one version of Thor. Because as you know, Thor has over a dozen costumes, probably even more than that. Because it changes so much throughout different types of media you put him in. He could either have a helmet or not. He can either have sleeves or not. He can either have, I don't know, shoulder pad or a cape, I don't know. It changes so much that I wasn't honestly sure which version of Thor I wanted to go with, so I said screw it, I'm just gonna make my own combination. So that's what I went with when making this figure. I went with the a helmeted head, no sleeves, and a pretty basic color scheme, pretty much like his classic colors. Let me show you. So, if you remember, I have a Marvel Select Thor, don't mind the head. And you can see that both of them do have pretty much the same kind of color scheme, with a giant red cape, kind of a black and blue tinted torso, gold or yellow belt, and green legs. So yeah, that's what I went with, and I think it came out really, really good. If I do have to say like which version of Thor or versions of Thor I was most inspired from, I say the original costume Thor, obviously, and the animated version of Thor from Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Starting with the head, let me take this off. I really like how the head came out. If you don't know, this is from the Marvel Select Thor, you know, the one I just showed you. And all I really did to it was, first I add like these face guards onto the helmet, because I kind of like that look for Thor. I repainted the head and made some new eyes. I really like how those came out. I also shortened the hair so that I can actually fit onto the body, and I painted it yellow. Then I just kind of repainted the helmet to look a little bit more silver. The head's pretty basic, honestly. And now going to the headless body. The torso is pretty basic too. All I really did was paint it black with a little bit of blue dry brushing. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it is there. And for the little shoulder, not shoulder, the little circle pads he has on his costume, I did make those different colors and different sizes. I like how that came out. It starts with silver, then gold, then bronze, which I add onto this skirt piece. And I add a little lightning bolt effect on both the front and the back. Again, like how that came out. I add a little shoulder pad. I can't remember which figure this was from, but I decided to add it since I thought it would look cool. The arms are pretty simple. I can't remember which body this is, but I do know the rest of the arm is a Batman, yeah, the Dark Knight Rises Batman from Mattel with some WWE hands. Like the first time I made this, I used some actual WWE hands, but since this is more of a 6-inch body, they did look a little bit too long. So I swapped them out, and I say this looks a lot better. The lower legs are from another Mattel DC figure. This, I think it was from, yeah, the Batman from Batman v Superman. The legs are double jointed. You can see here. And the hand fell off, great. And I did sculpt some... I did sculpt some armor onto his legs, and the shoes are also from the Marvel Select Thor. And now, from my favorite part of this figure, get down, the cape. Nuggets! I really like how this cape came out. So, for how I made it, I took a piece of red fabric, drew a pattern for how big and long I wanted it to be, and then I cut it out. But what I did was I made sure I made it a little bit longer so that when I glued the wire inside, yes, there's a wire, I would kind of hide the wire from it. So if you can see, there is a little piece of fabric going over it. And after that, I painted it, since I did use hot glue and that would look a little bit too revealing. And I have to say, I like how this cape turned out. I can get into the air like this, and as you can see, it doesn't weigh him down in any way. So yeah, you can get some pretty good poses with it, and it was really easy to do. Again, definitely my favorite part of this figure. And then there's Mjolnir, which once again is also from the Marvel Select Thor. I wasn't really sure if I was gonna make my own Mjolnir or use this one, but I decided to use this one, and all I really did was sculpt over the existing hammer piece to make it look a little bit bigger. And I added a little bit of blue, you can see that, for some just kind of slight lightning effects. And again, I really like how this came out. So for articulation, the head can go side to side, although the pieces of the cape here do kind of get in the way, but it's not too bad. The head can look up and down a little bit. The arms can move out that far. And the shoulder pad doesn't really get in the way unless you move his arm forward. It does kind of look weird, but you can move it around to get it to look a little bit more natural. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, wrist swivel and hinge. He does have an ab crunch, but it's not that much. It's going forward, go back quite a bit. He has a waist swivel. Oh, I forgot to mention how I did like this little skirt piece. Let me do that. So the belt is made out of a rubber band, painted gold, pretty simple. This is made out of cloth and hot glue. And these are pieces from a Marvel Legends Mantras figure. All I really did was cut them off of the existing skirt piece for that figure and glued all of it under the rubber band, so it looks as seamless as possible. And as you can see, they can go out and they don't look weird. It actually flows pretty naturally. And that goes for the legs. They can move forward that far. They can go back that far. As you saw, out to the side. It does have a lower bicep swivel. Yeah. Double jointed knees. He does have an ankle swivel. And it's a little tight, but yeah, he does have a hinge. As you can see. So yeah, I really like how this came out. I wouldn't say the articulation is too limited. I can definitely get him into some good poses. And honestly, I just like how... Oh, the hammer fell. Okay, yeah, so back to what I was saying. I really like how this figure came out. And before I continue, I'll show a size comparison with another picture. And here you can see him standing next to most of my... well, not Marvel Legends, but my Marvel action figures. And I have to say he looks pretty good with the Avengers. I would say that I wanted him to be a little bit taller, but he is tall enough to where, you know, he's taller than Captain America and Iron Man, and he does look pretty good next to Hulk. So yeah, along with the other ones, I did see how they scaled them individually, and I say they also look pretty good. And just for a little fun, here he is standing next to a picture of the Marvel Select Thor, which is the one I originally had. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed this figure. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.